One of the most common anxiety symptoms that people experience is something called brain zaps, or it could even be body zaps. It could feel like this like whoosh sensation. It can feel like literally a zap or like a tremor. And you may be thinking, oh my God, what is happening? You know, am I struggling with MS? Do I have ALS? What is happening? Even if you're taking medication, you may notice that it's a side effect of medication, but it's just so scary. And if you're going through anxiety, you're probably so hyper-focused in your body already. Well, in this video, I'm gonna share with you how anxiety creates these brain zaps or body zaps so that you can really make sure this goes away and you go back to living carefree once and for all. So let's get started. So a lot of people struggling with anxiety can experience brain zaps. They can literally feel like it's physically in their brain, there's like a zap, or it could be like a head zap, or it could be like a full body zap or a certain part of the body. Everyone's a little bit different. And it can feel like it's a tremor or whatever it is, but they just feel like they're feeling these zaps. Now, I experienced it a little bit. I actually experienced it the most when I was on medication. So for me, I felt like I tried everything with my anxiety journey. And the last thing I hadn't tried at the time, there was way more things I tried after medication. But I remember I would get zaps like right here, like on my stomach. It was the weirdest thing. Now I connected to the fact that it was the medication, but it wasn't a good feeling. It was very uncomfortable and I was afraid that I was always gonna have to deal with, well, my biggest fear was, am I gonna be on meds for the rest of my life? And also, if so, is the side effect always gonna be there? Now, obviously I'm not on meds. You know, maybe I'll make a video on that on another topic, but you may notice that you're experiencing it even when you're on meds. So why are these brain zaps happening, right? You may actually be concerned that this is something serious, right? Here's the truth, very simple. If you've gotten everything ruled out by your doctor, anxiety can for sure create brain zaps, body zaps, these sensations. In fact, it's one of the most common questions I get asked. I'm honestly surprised I haven't made a video on it, actually. I'm surprised I haven't made a video on it sooner, just because how many times it gets asked. It's literally one of the most common things. But why is it happening? Why are you experiencing these things? The reason why you're experiencing it, a lot of people have a lot of theories on the brain zaps, yeah? Nobody really has a clear-cut answer. How I feel that brain zaps happen, you have to understand, anxiety is not just an emotion. It's not just a feeling. Anxiety is about survival. So it's mind and body. And so one of the things that happen when people experience anxiety is that their nervous system becomes very sensitive. So small things will over-trigger it. You'll notice that small things that somebody's not very anxious, they can handle it. But somebody who's been anxious or been a lot of stress or has had a panic attack and doesn't know what it is, or has fallen into the loop, that same thing will create an over-exaggerated response in the body. And so what happens is the nervous system becomes very sensitive. Now, when it comes to the nervous system, right, the nervous system is the whole system, right? And so if you look at the nervous system at the smallest part, they're called neurons. They're cells, neuron cells. Neuron cells have a heightened excitability when you have anxiety. So what that means is it excites very quickly to small triggers, sometimes to no trigger at all. There is a trigger, but it's so slight that you may not even notice. And so the idea isn't to go into trying to figure out these triggers. The key is that this excitability due to the fight or flight response is what's creating the brain zaps. And so there's two components here, really. One, understanding what we call the fight or flight response, helping you understand that this is all part of the fight or flight response. It's designed to protect you. This fight or flight response is part of the nervous system. Everyone has it. Everybody has it. I mean, it's part of being alive, is having this fight or flight response. It's the only reason why you could have evolved and stayed alive. But what's happening is that you're experiencing offsets of that, which is brain zaps, which are totally harmless. But it can create, if you don't know why it's happening, that in itself can become the trigger. And so what happens is there's two parts. There's the fight or flight response, and then the second, because you're anxious, you're always gonna look at the worst case scenario. I want you to understand, you looking at the worst case scenario is part of how anxiety works. The only way anxiety survives is by looking at all the bad case scenarios, grabbing the scariest one and magnifying it. So rather than saying, oh, brain zaps are probably just due to anxiety, you're probably thinking, oh my God, brain zaps is due to me having ALS. Now that's the worst case scenario. But here's the thing. It's not even a scenario because you've already gotten everything ruled out, right? You've gotten everything ruled out. So this what if situation, well, the doctor didn't test it, so how do I know? It's like, you have to understand, doctors will test things if there's a reason to test, right? It's not like I'm gonna go ahead and get a checkup, a regular checkup, and the doctor's like, you know what you need an MRI. He's only gonna say that if there's something that indicates that I need it, right? Doctors just don't do willy-nilly tests just like that unless there's actual evidence to show it. And a lot of the general tests already are so accurate. It gives you a whole comprehensive idea of how that person is functioning. And so if they find something off, then they'll do additional tests. But don't think that just because you haven't been diagnosed with this one particular test, that somehow, what if the doctor missed something? They only do that if there's indication for it. So I hope this video helped. The second part of this video I would like to say is part of the medication too. If you're on medication, you'll notice that you also have brain zaps or body zaps. Again, always good to get this addressed by your doctor. Let the doctor know. They often say, okay, it's part of the side effect of the medication. Now you may be wondering, well, is it the side effect of the medication or if it's anxiety? Shaan, how do I know? Well, here's the thing, right? I would ask a follow-up question. If it's medication, what's the solution? If it's anxiety, what's the solution? The solution's the same. So if it's the same, why are you trying to figure it out, right? I understand figuring it out if the solutions were different, but the solutions are the exact same, so I don't really see the point. So what I always say is just throw it all under the anxiety umbrella. That's the biggest thing. So anyways, I hope this video helped. If you really want to know more about how to overcome this once and for all, go back to living. You really want to understand this fight or flight response, how anxiety can create such physical symptoms. I'll put a link down below to a free book that really breaks down how to overcome this, how to identify what's anxiety and what's not. Again, make sure you've gotten everything ruled out by your doctor, okay? The link is down below, it's free, it's yours. It's something I wish I would have had during my recovery journey. The book will show you, and if you need additional help too, look, my team and I can guide you along the way too. If you really need extra help, if you're really lost, if you're unsure, if you don't have the support you need and you want the support from people that have gone through it themselves, that's no problem too. We help people all around the world. And so if that's you, you can apply for mentorship too. Now mentorship is an application process. We don't approve everybody. We really want to make sure they're a good fit. So it's not so much about you saying, okay, I want to join the mentorship. It's more about us seeing, is it a good fit? And you know, it has to be a good fit for you too, of course. It has to be a win-win for both. And so if that's the case, I'll guide you myself and get you out. So I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.